Okay, let's do this one last time. Name's Emily, trans girl. I found that out after watching Into the Spiderverse in 2018. Not because of that movie, but you know. This is the one and only Azura Media Club. Go. Into the Spiderverse, 2018. Great movie. I loved it. I loved it back then. I loved the art style. I mean, I thought it was good back then. There was a lot of praise heaped onto this movie. Which now, like, having watched it later on, it's always in the moment. There's all this hype, right? And I never want to be a part of the hype, but, like, sometimes I am. This was one of the times where I was like, yeah, this is a pretty good movie, but what about, like, Spider-Man Homecoming? What about, like, the earlier Spider-Man movies? But I had this realization, oh, spoilers for this movie, by the way, and, like, every Spider-Man movie, and Marvel movies, and whatever, blah, 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 all that stuff. This isn't a Marvel movie per se, but it's interesting because later on in Spider-Man, what was it? No Way Home, right? Like the third one or whatever. They actually do similar scenes to this movie later on, like in the timeline and all that. But they're actually canon to the Marvel universe at that point. But this movie starts off with like stuff from the Tobey Maguire movies. Like that Spider-Man is the Spider-Man of this universe. This kind of takes place in that universe, or an alternate retelling of that universe. Already super good. So from there, it made me think, right? I'm like, well, if that's what's going on, if we're doing an alternate retelling of that universe, you know, and of course the movie's called Into the Spider-Verse, so you just get like all of these infinite possibilities of all these Spider-Men, and more so probably going to happen in the next movie. Haven't seen that yet. We're going to see it tomorrow. I only heard like one thing about it, but I am excited to see it, especially after rewatching this movie. Super excited, actually. I really liked this movie back in the day. I remember me and my friends talked about it a lot afterwards. The art style is unlike any other movie like that that I've seen, basically. Like it's amazing. It's such a like a comic book art style. It's like it's got such color, such vibrance, you know? It's hard to say that I've seen an animated movie do as much as this movie does, you know? Animation-wise. And just all of the unique angles and the framing and whatnot is just super fantastic, you know? And like all of the designs to the characters and the colors and everything, you know, is just so great. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it, especially this time around. And seeing all the references to, like, Spider-Man and Spider-Man history, and even Stan Lee makes a cameo in it. Like, is it actually Stan Lee, or was this... This was after he died, right? So, I mean, I guess maybe it's not actually him. I thought it was him. Did he die? Like, when did he die? I don't know. Anyway, you know, they have one of those Stan Lee cameos in it, like they used to have in the Marvel movies before he died. So, we'll see. When did Homecoming come out? Was he in that one as well? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, this is a great movie. Great Spider-Man movie. It's really crazy that it took them this long to do another one, like 5 years. I assume a lot of that has to do with, you know, how long it takes to fucking animate this shit, because I'm sure it's not easy. Like, the level of pro animation here is just, like, insane. Like, it's so detailed, too, is the other thing, and just, like, the fluidity of the animation. I know I'm spending a long time talking about specifically animation, but, like, wow. Like, it's like, really good, you know? Like, such a unique art style, animated-wise. And, I think that's really cool, and I think that's really special. It's a really unique-looking movie. But, like, it doesn't just end there. Like, I know I said the same thing about Detective Pikachu, if you follow my other channel, how has like a cool art style and stuff, but it fails and not fails, but it loses a little bit of its potential to do some of the greater things. I feel like this movie keeps all of the potential. It like everything I kind of expected it to be. Maybe not like then, but like and more. And it cracked expectations too. And it actually has like good representation. Obviously, I'm a white girl, like, but I applaud them for doing, like the Miles Morales Spider-Man, which we haven't seen yet, like a black Spider-Man. That's cool, I'm all for good representation and good female representation too. That's kind of what really stuck with me, obviously, if you can see here, back in the day, with the movie was the female representation, which I always really found important, but I never really knew why that was as important to me until later on when I actually started transition and whatnot. The Spider-Gwen was such a great part of the movie. I mean, let's talk about the fucking cast, right? I can't remember who voices Miles Morales, but you have Haley Steinfeld, Edge of 17, great fucking movie, super underrated. She's Spider-Gwen, so great voice for Spider-Gwen. You have fucking Nick Cage as Spider-Noir there, which is great. I love that. I mean, that's fantastic. All the other voices are good too, but it's just like those two specifically, big names, you get some really big names in here. Everyone else knocks it out of the park. The voice acting is super good. Like, the lines are good, the writing is good, all of that is like super good. So yeah, I mean, like all of that is top notch. Lots of feels in the movie. There's some really funny moments too, and it doesn't feel weird or cheap. It just feels funny, like it's supposed to be. Like the whole hey thing, like I love that. That whole part, that whole bunch of parts there is great. Like, but it's a reoccurring joke or whatever. It's really awkward the first time, but it ends up getting her, Gwen Stacy, to realize like, hey, this is. I mean, I guess we don't know that it's Gwen Stacy, right? But like, that's what Gwen's name has always been. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Gwen. That's like she gets. That's how she understands that he's a Spider-Man, because like his hand like sticks on her, and that's how she gets her like cool hair thing, which I'm like badly trying to emulate here. But. What do you do? So, my hair kind of just does this naturally anyway, but like, I thought I'd go for it because, because of the movie or whatever. I don't think I could pull that look off in person, but like, for sure. It's such a like cool thing. I just love her character in general in the movie. Definitely like my favorite character. Doesn't always get the most time to shine, like, but I love Miles Morales too in this movie. He's like really good. His character arc is good, him learning his powers. It's a nice origin story, kind of thing. I like how they subverted the whole Uncle Ben thing with his like actual uncle, or uncle. I don't know if it is his actual uncle. I mean, that's what's implied, but either way, like he Uncle Aaron, he like dies. He's actually the Prowler. That was such a big reveal whenever you found that out before. So, excuse me. Anyway, yeah. So you gotta love that. I mean, like, there's a lot of little things like that that are good. It's nice to see like all the different universe origin stories for like these Spider-Men and Spider People, I guess should we say? Like, that's what they say in the movie, because like obviously there's 2 girls on that team as well. So, and then of course you have Peter Porker, which is like so ridiculous. Like, what is that all about? Like, it's like they chose the weirdest like ones to do, like Peter Porker, like Penny Parker, like the Korean Spider-Woman or whatever. I think she's Korean. I don't know. I thought so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe she's some sort of Asian. I know that sounds bad, but I don't remember. Anyway, so yeah, she is also great. Very like makes me think of Diva from like Overwatch or something, if she was like 10 or whatever. But she has like a mech. That's fucking cool. That's fucking lightning. Um, you have like noir Spider-Man, like the Nick Cage Spider-Man. Like all of the Spider-Men are great. You have Peter B. Parker, like the Peter Parker of this universe dies fighting the Kingpin, and he like passes on the goal to destroy this universe collider thing, so that Kingpin can't go to a different universe. Is it like it's really not about Kingpin not going to the other universes. It's about the space-time continuum like collapsing on itself more so. Um, but that's the bad guy's entire like motivation is he wants to go to another universe where his family doesn't hate him for like trying to kill Spider-Man, right? So, but it doesn't end up working out for him. Maybe he'll continue to try to do that in the next one, and that's how we'll get there. Although we saw at the end of the first one, like a portal opened there, like above him. So apparently they know how to do the universe travel without the Kingpin and his collider thing. So we'll see how that all pans out. But yeah, like it's a different take on the Spider-Man origin story, and I definitely appreciate that. And that's why it's so funny when they start off like that. Like, let's do this for the last time, and they keep doing that gag throughout the movie to like introduce the characters and whatnot. It's because like they get it. Like we've seen this like so many fucking times. This origin story. By that point, it was like 3 other times at least. And so they knew that they had to like kind of speed through it. And the pace of the movie is also really good. It's about an hour and 56 minutes with credits. This one, if I remember correctly, at least the version I have. So, which, yeah, I don't have the Blu-ray. That's kind of a shame because I have all the other Spider-Man movies on Blu-ray, except for the last 2 Tom Holland ones. But, yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, the pacing's really good too. You never feel bored or there's never really like a moment where nothing is really happening. Everything is always happening all the time, which is great. It'll be interesting to see if the second one can keep that kind of pace going the whole time because I know that it's a little bit longer. So we'll see how that all pans out in the end there. What else? Yeah, like, just everything about the movie is fun and it's enjoyable and the action is just really punchy and like really comic book-esque, I just really enjoy that. I really think all of that works like super well. But I also like Miles and his like origin story. It's similar but different to all the other Spider-Men. And he's got this other Spider-Man from this other universe, Peter B. Parker, that doesn't necessarily have his shit together. He kind of failed where our Peter Parker succeeded, which is interesting. So, yeah. Also, there's like Doc Ock is a woman, so that's kind of interesting. Like, I don't mind that, obviously. I think that's cool and everything. But, we're in a universe where it's like the Tobey Maguire movies, but Doc Ock is a woman. So it's like, that's like maybe the one difference. And like, I like how Aunt May kind of knows too, and she knows, and there's a spider cave, apparently. Like Batman, but like with a Spider-Man kind of thing. I just thought that was super cool as well. Yeah. I don't know. Like, everything is super cool and it's well done. And, yeah. What else do I want to say about it? Spider-Gwen obviously is great. I like her and Miles and their growing friendship there. She's kind of a loner, because of how Peter died in her universe or whatever. He he was like her best friend or whatnot. Um, I like that. I like how everyone kind of also had a similar story where they lost people and whatnot. There's like that line where he's like, "Don't finish the great power, great responsibility" thing, because like they've all heard a version of that, you know. Um, I remember thinking it would have been nice to like hear Tobey Maguire be one of the Spider-Men, like just even as a cameo or something, like. But considering what they did later, like, you know, with the whole all three of them being there in that live action universe, it's like it's pretty crazy that that happened. I wonder, I do wonder, what do you think? I mean, maybe they would have them all come into the second movie. They already had them all get together in live action. I don't see why they wouldn't. Like, maybe we'll see what happens with that. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with the second movie too. I think it's great. Um, oh, the whole arc with his dad and all of that. I thought that was good. Um, it kind of mirrors the Uncle Ben and like the Tobey Maguire movies, like where he's trying to be there for Peter, but then, you know, Peter's kind of pushing him away, kind of thing. And they kind of resolve that by the end. I like that. What else? They have like a good plethora of villains too. They have like the Scorpion, and they have like Doc-Ock, like I said, and the Prowler, and they have like a Kingpin. You know, there's all sorts of good villains there. I think there's even a couple more. I can't really think of, but I also like how this Spider-Man's kind of like very into art or like street art. Like he just marks everywhere and stuff, and that get yeah, like that whole art style to begin with is like street art kind of look for the movie, but then and comic book esque, but then like seeing that all play out within his art is also really cool. Um, and the scenes like in the multiverse or whatever you want to call it there, like in between the Spider-Verse or whatever, are pretty cool and like very distinctly art style. I love how those like that art style like glitches into reality basically. I thought all that was really cool. Um, I've already said it a million times. Like the visual style of the movie is just really impressive. Um, yeah, the soundtrack was good too. I know there's like a lot of popular like, you know, music in here too, like modern or at least 2018 modern music in here, which is fine. I mean, it all works for the style of the movie as well. Um, but yeah, so but like the score behind it is also really good. Um, yeah, it's just a really enjoyable movie overall. Um, and I think it's nice how it's kind of rooted in a bunch of different lores of Spider-Man, or Spider People, I should say, um, which is cool. I definitely want to talk about these comics at some point on here as well. I don't think it would really fit into my other channel, um, but the idea of Azura Media Club is to just do everything, you know? All of the different medias, outside of maybe like video games. I think video games is kind of for my other channel, and that's gonna stay there in video game related content. But the Azura Media Club is mostly about doing like movies, books, comic books, anything related to um, other forms of media, you know? Maybe some videos, I don't know, stuff like that. Um, anything like that, you know, that's outside of the realm of like video games, I guess. Uh, but yeah, really, really great movie. Just very enjoyable to watch. Um, very well representing of the lore of Spider-Man. Visually, it's really good. Um, I liked all the different spider people and seeing all of their different lives and how they all have their own little character arcs and character growth, and it all kind of ties together well at the end, and they all help, fight off the villains at different points, and there's just like a lot of good moments, a lot of good drama at points, and lots of good characters, lots of good music. Everything about it is just good. I don't know, like great even, I would say. Like it's just a wholly awesome and refreshing superhero movie. And maybe that was it too back when we're probably a little bit burned out on superhero movies. I mean, we still are now, but it's different. I don't go see superhero movies all the time now, so in an environment where I'm not constantly watching superhero movies, it's nice to watch one every now and again and get like a decent superhero movie that's not connected to a bigger, grander lore until later, until the next movie. But even then, it's still part of its own movie set there, and yeah, I mean, it is connected to like the Tobey Maguire movies, but I've seen those like a million, zillion times. So, you know, I don't know. All I'm saying is, it's great, and it's well worth your time if you haven't seen it before. I didn't really spoil that much. I spoiled a couple of things, but like, I'm really anxious to see the next movie. Oh, it has good representation. That was another really good positive of this movie. You know, uh, black representation, women representation, um, good stuff. Lots of great stuff there. A lot of good stuff. Like a lot of really good stuff. Comment below if you get that reference. Anyway, I think I'll probably end it here. There's not whole lot else to say. It's a great movie. I don't really know if there's any flaws with it, and especially as a Spider-Man movie, it's pretty top tier. Just as a piece of animation, it's pretty top tier. So, I mean, I hate to just keep going on and on about things I love, but that's kind of the point of this too. So, I mean, I'm probably gonna give it a 10 out of 10, and we'll see how the next movie does to, if it can keep that level of quality. So, until next time, this is Emily, saying... What was the tagline? Did I have a tagline? I gotta look that up again. Just keep enjoying media or whatever. Emily, out.